Hi, everybody, and welcome to Radical Age Reversal. We're going to get started in just a minute. I'm going to bring in our YouTube audience. You're here. And now I'm going to bring in our Win-Win Women audience. All right, welcome to our two audiences, the Win-Win Women Network and YouTube. I'm so glad you guys are here. Welcome. It is Monday, and we are continuing in our book, 30% Happier in 30 Days. And we are on chapter 14. I hope you're enjoying this book as much as I am, and enjoyment is all about today's topic. So I want you to think back to the last moment that you laughed. I mean, really laughed, that gut wrenching, side aching, um, you know, spewing of a guffaw, whatever that is, the funniest thing that you remember hearing. And ask yourself when it was, because the closer the time frame, the longer you're going to live, because laughter is absolutely the best medicine. And I'm so glad that he covers it in this chapter. So, as always, I'm going to bring essential oils into this because it can be a great tool to help you either remember to laugh, to inspire you to laugh, to set up your brain for that receptivity that it needs to do the work. And he's going to go into the science of what happens when we laugh. So it's important for you to stick around for that. Get out your notebook, get something yummy to drink, and sit down and enjoy this content for the next few minutes. So let's talk about essential oils and how they fit into joy and laughter. Happiness is fleeting, joy is everlasting, and laughter is a burst in a moment. But those moments can be closely tied and well connected. And we are more primed for laughter, for joy, and for contentment if we use essential oils, nature's medicine that's put right there to make sure that our bodies are fine tuned and ready to go when these moments happen. Now, these moments are super important because they produce vital chemicals to our longevity, things like dopamine and sometimes serotonin and oxytocin and even endorphins. These are the things that make us feel really, really good. And in our modern age, we've resorted to a lot of artificial stimulants that create that same brain response, but not in a healthy way. Laughter, on the other hand, is nature's medicine and cure for any bad moment or any bad day. But again, we want to be primed. One way to prime ourselves is through distillation. I'm really going to drill down today about how important it is for you to be inhaling a doTERRA essential oil every day. Now, I'm going to give you a few choices so that you can pick the one that works best for you. But our goal here is joy and happiness and laughter. Okay, so happiness, fleeting, joy, everlasting. Laughter is that burst, right, that you get, which is really, really cool. It's sort of the difference between jogging and a marathon runner and someone who does high intensity interval training. Okay, so the laughter is going to be the high intensity interval training. And just like that type of exercise, we know it promotes longevity. So good for your brain. So if you haven't laughed within the last hour, within the last day, within the last week, within the last month that you can really recall, we're going to change that today because you need to find a channel for laughter in your life. It's super important that you laugh. I mean, really laugh every day. Just as important as it is when you have a lot of stress and you need to cry. And you can do that privately, you can do that publicly. But when you cry, you release those stress hormones. When you laugh, you get that burst of good hormones. You get those dopamines, the serotonins, and the endorphins that I was talking about. So doTERRA has created something called Adaptiv. I have to say, when I first smelled it, I don't know, I did not like it. I didn't love it. It was kind of one of these unknown, in the middle, not sure what to do with it smells for me. My daughter, on the other hand, immediately gravitated toward this. She was like, "What is this? This is amazing." And she threw it in her diffuser. She was a very young girl. Kind of just did it without even thinking. This was just something that she wanted in her environment. So again, remember, I'm focused on inhalation because our olfactory system has these receptor sites that also connect to your central nervous system, which connect to your gut and your brain and your vagus nerve, and all these really cool things. And that's what makes us super, super healthy. So I'm just going to take the adaptive. I actually really like it right now in my life. And you're going to find that too. There are going to be times in your life where you gravitate towards certain essential oils, other times in your life where you say, that's not really working for me. So don't be alarmed or don't be upset or don't think the company is producing an oil that just isn't good anymore if you don't gravitate toward it or even like it in a certain moment in life. That too will change because you are constantly changing as a human being. You are never the same person you were yesterday, and you're never going to be tomorrow who you are today. So let that go. Anyway, I'm really loving adaptive right now. Now, one of the things, I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice today. Maybe some essential oils on my vocal cords is going to help. I'm going to drink some tea. Again, I apologize. I don't know where this is coming from. I did some lecturing at church this morning. I did fine. Anyway, we're going to work through it. So, adaptive, blend of essential oils, uplifting and balancing. So, we have our calming linalool essential oils like magnolia in it, but we also have some uplifting essential oils like peppermint. And it has a pretty complex profile. So, you can go on the website and read all about it. But today, I don't want to go into an in-depth dive as to what this essential oil is made of. More so much, I want to talk about to you how it's going to affect you. So I'm going to use this pretty liberally as a perfume with a purpose. I'm going to put it on my neck. I like to dab right under my nose. It doesn't ruin my makeup, so you don't have to worry about that. Sometimes I like to put it on like the crown of my head. That helps a lot. And this is just going to be something that will give way to a brain shift. That's what you're looking for. So you may have to wait until you feel some type of brain shift. Okay. The next thing you're going to do, and this can take up to 20 minutes. So if you're in a really bad space, I always suggest be proactive. So this is something that I would put right by my bed in the morning, something like you use with balance. But adaptive is going to really, really get to that heart of the foundational support you need so you get ready to laugh. And you may say, well, isn't everybody ready to laugh? But here's what I'm going to say. Some people laugh all the time, which means that when an opportunity for laughter comes into their lives, they take it. And other people will tell me, gosh, I haven't laughed in a really long time, weeks, days, I hope not years, but a really long time. So what's the difference between those two people? Is it that they have funnier friends? Is that they like comedies over dramas or over suspense movies? No, it's that they're chemically set up for laughter. It's almost like you have radar, and that radar is actually looking for the laugh, looking for the lighthearted moment, looking for the joy. So brain chemistry is super important. Don't think that if you're someone who's not laughing right now, it's because you're not surrounded by the right people. That may be part of it, but I guarantee you, your brain isn't looking for the moments. But essential oils, because of how they work with the olfactory system, can change the way your brain is functioning, and it can start to look for the opportunities. And I talk to people in the most extremely serious and tragic situations. And if I ask them if they laugh, a lot of them will say, I actually laugh more with the stress. I laugh more in the tragedy and the grief. I laugh more now. Why? Because their brain is primed for those moments. Okay. I know some people who have very little stress in their life. And if you looked at them from the outside, you could say, wow, they're perfectly well adjusted. They have a beautiful family that they love. They have a successful job. They have their health. Everything's going really well. They have great friends. And if you ask them if they laugh, they may say no. And that's how I know that their brain is not primed for laughter, which is a key component to longevity, which is what our channel is all about. Radical age reversal is all about keeping you young longer through your life. Isn't that a great goal? I think it's a great goal. So if adaptive's not your jam, then one of the easiest essential oils I think to do this with is actually just good old plain old lemon. Lemon is a remarkable essential oil. It's bright, it's uplifting, it's a scent that everybody seems to be familiar with. It doesn't usually create any kind of aversion. I have yet to meet a human being who says to me, "Oh, I don't like lemon at all." Maybe not eating them, but the scent of lemon seems to be universally accepted by so many. So try that one. And that's all you have to do. Just put it in your hands, rub it around, and try it. Now, the next one I want to talk about is another blend because sometimes I find, especially with people who are deep in the moment of depression, deep in the moment of anxiety, and kind of living from those moments to those moments, the blends work a little better because of the synergy between the plants that are in the essential oil, and sometimes because of the chemists that put them together, the perfumers, as we call them, even though they are, a therapeutic grade oil, which means that they have a physical effect. It's not really perfume for the sake of just smell, right? It's going to have a physiological effect on you, and its intention is to have a physiological effect on you. That's why it was formulated. Sometimes the what's in the mind of the formulators is so great because they're thinking ahead. They're thinking of what we need before we even understand what we're looking for. And so I feel like doTERRA Holiday Joy is very much like that. Um, I will say that unlike Adaptive, this has that warming scent to it. So if feeling protected and safe is key to you being able to kind of let go and laugh and enjoy, right? If you're someone who's experienced maybe a lot of trauma in your life, if you're someone who's going through a really difficult moment, you feel like the walls of the world have broken down and you don't feel safe anymore. I feel like this type of blend is very helpful because of its warming nature, because of its holiday association, because it has that spicy charm to it. You may find that this is a good choice for you. And I love its color. Anytime an essential oil comes with a brilliant color, I always think, another sense that's been stimulated, my sense of sight. So again, just rub it between your hands. And inhale. Now, at this point, I have a lot on my hands. I wouldn't suggest that you do it this way. I would take time to kind of inhale it from a smell stick or a cotton ball, something like that. Sometimes, if you're trying to compare essential oils, you can get a glass with some coffee grounds and then get other glasses, put cotton balls in them with the essential oil. And you want to use a glass because you literally want to be able to get your nose inside the glass. Now, being of Roman heritage, I have a really great nose that can go inside a glass. But even if you have a tiny, cute little nose, don't worry about it. Just get that nose inside the glass and you're going to inhale the cotton. I'm obviously not going to inhale my tea, but it smells good too. So, the other one that I would recommend, and these two I'm going to pair with frankincense, which I didn't grab, but I don't want to get up in the middle of the video. I'm just going to apologize and say that these two oils I'm going to suggest you blend with frankincense. One is wild orange and one is grapefruit. And again, in those glasses, take the cotton ball, put some grapefruit and grapefruit and frankincense in one, wild orange and frankincense in the other, and you choose which one makes you feel more blissful. That's kind of what we're going for. Do I feel a little bit of bliss? Hmm. Okay. Last but not least, I have rose. And a lot of people are going to say, hold the phone. This is a super expensive oil. I'm not ready to make that investment. And I understand. But I will tell you that if you put $1 away every day for a year, you will end up with this bottle of rose. And it's well worth it. The other thing you can do is use your points. So if you have been a member of doTERRA for a really long time and you're getting 30% back on all your orders and you just wait until it builds up into that 300 something range, you're going to be able to get a bottle of rose. And what's wonderful about rose is you can actually just smell it from the bottle because it's super concentrated. Now, one thing people need to know about rose is sometimes it coagulates and it needs to be warmed. So all you have to do is do this, roll the bottle back and forth in your hands and it will warm up and then it will pour better. So I don't know if you can see that, but already I'm getting more liquid and less gel. Okay, it's just the original way those oils are coming from the plant. Sometimes they're kind of gelatinous, sometimes they're resin, that they're more like crystallized or rock. They will want to return to its original state pre-distillation. So it's just a matter of getting them back into that essential oil aromatic, because that's going to help a lot. But let's dig into the chapter 14. Laughter is the best medicine. He says, want to inject a little positivity into your life? Laugh more. Every time you let out a chuckle, your brain releases the chemicals of happiness, dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins, while lowering the stress hormone cortisol. So if you're really, really stressed out and you take a cold washcloth, because we've gone over how to deal with stress, right? Really cold washcloth, smash it on the face gently, but water on the face, cold, put your feet in ice bath. Those things will stimulate your vagus nerve, calm you down, get rid of that cortisol, right? Take a walk, not a run. Has to be a walk because you don't want to be your brain thinking you're being chased by tigers and cortisol will stay up. So you have to take a walk, calm down, move. Those are all great things, but laughter is really good. So you know what? Create a playlist on your phone of your favorite comedians. My favorite comedians are always the Chinese comedians, 100%. I lived in China. I love the Chinese speaking world. I have a whole list of Chinese comedians that I just find culturally, like, it's just my jam. I love it. I think they're hysterical. I've also added a whole bunch of Indian comedians lately, some Filipino comedians lately, and I like American comedians, like, don't get me wrong, but they're not at the top of my list. They're not my go-tos. I have them all in you sort of in a file. I will say one of the things that turns me off when it comes to comedians is I'm not a big fan of like the vulgar, F bombs all the time. To me, it's just like, and I know in today's world, there is no word that's shocking anymore. And I've talked to young people about this. I'm like, what do you do to stop everyone from talking in a room? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, see, there used to be a word for that. There used to be this word, the F bomb, that you would drop and everybody would go, and that doesn't happen anymore because it's used as an adjective, which is really weird. But I digress. So let's get back to this. Um, so laughter is like a hearty drug, changing your brain chemistry to make you feel happier and making it happen almost instantly. So what is laughter and how does it happen? Laughter shows emotions such as mirth, joy, or scorn when a chuckle or an explosive vocal sound. What this definition lacks is where laughter starts, and that's in your brain. We know that the left side of the brain is responsible for interpreting words, including jokes. The brain's right side is responsible for identifying what makes the joke, observation, or situation funny. The brain's prefrontal cortex is responsible for emotional responses, but the basal ganglia, the area of the brain that integrates movement and emotion, becomes active when we're watching a funny TV show or movie. These areas produce the physical action of laughing, right? So laughter is a sound, but it's also like your whole body gets into laughter. You get those knee slappers, right? What kind of laugher are you? The best thing about laughter is how good it is for you. The Loma Linda University study on the effect of laughter showed that hilarity and mirth releases endorphins, the body's painkillers, and lowers blood pressure. And the old proverb goes, laughter is the best medicine, and humor is mankind's greatest blessing, a famous saying attributed to Mark Twain. So, how can you laugh more? Well, laughter is contagious. So, if you and your friends are able to take in a comedy or a movie, visit a local comedy club, watch a live production of a farce type play, do it. If everyone's laughing together, a bond is created that makes you more likely to express your true feelings, which also has a positive effect on your life. In their book, Humor Seriously, Jennifer Akers and Naomi Bogdanos write that using humor to make other people laugh can be just as beneficial as helping us appear more intelligent, deepening bonds, enhancing creativity, and strengthening resilience. So, how can you make others laugh if you weren't born with a natural funny bone? With practice, even you can find your wittiness by using two common elements of humor. Number one, a foundation in truth, and number two, the unexpected. I often use these two principles of humor in my clinical practice, as well as in my books and public television shows. It allows me to deliver complex information in a way that helps people understand it and remember it easily. For example, here's something I said to my public television show, Change Your Brain, Heal Your Mind. I was telling the audience that it was my 14th public television show about the brain, and that everywhere I go across the country, people tell me how my programs have changed their lives. So I gave them the following few examples. I was walking recently when I saw a couple running toward me. The wife recognized me and said, "Hey, you're the brain doctor. We are out here running because of you. My husband wouldn't listen to me, but he listens to you." I also met a flight attendant who told me that she lost 30 pounds and stopped feeling depressed since she was watching my shows because she completely changed her diet and was getting her husband and her children to walk with her. And I met at a Stanford professor who told me he completely stopped drinking because of my programs and now wakes up feeling 100% every day. Then I threw in a zinger. But my favorite story is of the 87-year-old woman who told me that she started dating again after she watched my shows because she realized that being alone was not good for her brain. With a smile, she told me that she had recently met a wonderful 80-year-old man online and that they were having the time of their lives. I wondered if that qualified her for being a grandmother cougar. As soon as I said grandmother cougar, the audience burst into laughter. What I said was all rooted in truth, but I threw in something unexpected that made the audience's brain do a double take. And by making them laugh, my own brain released a cocktail of feel good neurochemicals that made me feel happy at the same time. So, dear audience, as we close today, I want you to grab your essential oils that make you feel like laughing and put them on. And secondly, in the comment section, if you have a favorite comedian, would you please share their link with me? I am always looking for more ways to laugh. And I will see you next week with the next chapter of 30% Happier in 30 days.